Imagine this. You finish filming in Los Angeles, need to attend a premiere in New York, meet producers in Atlanta, and still make it home for a family event the next morning. For a famous actor, time is not just money. Time is scheduling power. That is why many top actors do not rely on commercial airlines. They use private jets as working tools. Faster departures, direct routes, privacy, and the ability to turn travel time into productive time. But not every celebrity chooses the same kind of aircraft. Some pick speed. Some pick cabin space. Some pick range. Some pick efficiency. And a few, like Harrison Ford and John Travolta, actually understand the aircraft from the cockpit, not just the cabin. Today, we are looking at 10 private jets owned, previously owned, or strongly associated with famous actors. This is not just a luxury list. We are looking at the real aviation numbers: engine thrust, cruise speed, range, cabin use, operating logic, and why each jet fits the person behind it. Let's start with number 10. Number 10, Morgan Freeman. Aircraft, SyberJet SJ-30. Morgan Freeman is not just one of the most recognizable voices in Hollywood. He is also a licensed pilot, and that makes his aircraft choice more interesting than a typical celebrity jet story. The jet often connected with Freeman is the Emivest SJ-30, later associated with the SyberJet SJ-30 line. This is not a giant Gulfstream, not a converted airliner, and not the kind of aircraft chosen mainly for cabin space. The SJ-30 is a compact, fast light jet designed for performance. The aircraft is powered by two Williams International FJ442, a turbofan engines, with each engine producing about 2,300 pounds of thrust. In jet aircraft, we normally talk about thrust instead of horsepower, and for a light jet, that is a respectable number. Performance is the main story here. The SJ-30 is known for a maximum cruise speed around Mach 0.83, which is fast for its class. Its range is often listed around 2,500 nautical miles, depending on payload, reserves, and operating conditions. That gives it serious reach for a small jet. It can handle many coast-to-coast or long regional missions that some other light jets would struggle to complete nonstop. The cabin is not huge. That is the trade-off. If you want a wide cabin, stand-up height, and room for a large team, this is not the aircraft. But if you want speed, altitude, and efficient personal travel, the SJ-30 is very appealing. Another interesting feature is cabin pressurization. The SJ-30 has been promoted with strong high-altitude cabin comfort, including sea-level cabin pressure up to high cruising altitudes. For passengers, that can reduce fatigue on longer flights. For Morgan Freeman, this aircraft makes sense because it feels like a pilot's choice, not just a celebrity purchase. It is rare, performance-focused, and technically interesting. Practical verdict. The SJ-30 is small, fast, and unusual. It does not win on cabin size, but it wins on personality. For a pilot owner who values speed and range over pure luxury, it is one of the most interesting light jets ever connected to a Hollywood actor. Number 9, Jim Carrey. Aircraft, Gulfstream V. Jim Carrey became famous for extreme energy on screen, but the aircraft associated with him is much more controlled and businesslike, the Gulfstream V. The Gulfstream V is a true long-range business jet. This is not a short-hop aircraft for quick regional flights. It was built for serious distance, international missions, and high-level executive travel. The aircraft is powered by two BMW Rolls-Royce BR 710 turbofan engines, each producing about 14,750 pounds of thrust. That puts it in a completely different category from a light jet like the SJ-30. The Gulfstream V is larger, heavier, more expensive to operate, and far more capable on long routes. Its maximum range is commonly listed around 6,500 nautical miles, depending on payload and reserves. That means it can connect major international city pairs with fewer stops. The aircraft can cruise around Mach 0.80 to Mach 0.85, with maximum operating speed around Mach 0.88. For a Hollywood actor, this range matters. A Gulfstream V can fly from Los Angeles to Europe, from New York to South America, or across major domestic routes with ease. It gives the owner privacy, schedule control, and the ability to travel with a small team. The cabin is also a major advantage. Depending on configuration, a Gulfstream V can seat around 14 to 19 passengers, with room for club seating, conference tables, sleeping arrangements, a galley, and lavatory space. For long flights, that matters more than people think. A celebrity does not just need a seat. They may need to rest, take calls, review scripts, meet with managers, or travel with family. The downside is operating cost. A Gulfstream V is a large cabin, long-range jet with high fuel burn and serious maintenance requirements. It is not the newest Gulfstream anymore, so ownership depends heavily on refurbishment quality, avionics upgrades, and maintenance history. Practical verdict. The Gulfstream V is a real global travel machine. It is not the newest or most efficient jet today, but it still delivers range, cabin comfort, and serious capability. For Jim Carrey, it makes sense because it offers privacy and long-distance mobility without moving into private airliner territory. Number 8. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Aircraft, Gulfstream III. Arnold Schwarzenegger's aircraft history fits the image of old-school Hollywood power. The aircraft most famously connected with him is the Gulfstream III. The Gulfstream III is an older large-cabin business jet, but in its era, it was a very serious machine. It represented status, range, and executive-level travel before newer jets like the Gulfstream, G550, G650, and Bombardier Global Series became the modern benchmarks. The Gulfstream III is powered by two Rolls-Royce Spey turbofan engines, each producing about 11,400 pounds of thrust. These engines were powerful and reliable for their time, but they are not as quiet or fuel-efficient as newer turbofan designs. Performance is still respectable. The Gulfstream III can cruise around Mach 0.80 to Mach 0.84, with range often listed around 3,600 to 4,000 nautical miles, depending on payload and fuel reserves. That gives it enough capability for coast-to-coast missions, transatlantic routes under the right conditions, and long-range executive travel. The cabin is one of the aircraft's main strengths. Depending on configuration, it can carry around 12 to 19 passengers. It has the classic large cabin business jet layout, club seats, divans, tables, a galley, and a private lavatory. Compared with modern jets, the cabin may feel older and less refurbished, but it still offers real space. For Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Gulfstream III made sense during the peak action star era. He was not just an actor. He was a global brand, bodybuilding champion, blockbuster star, businessman, and later governor. A small aircraft would not fit that lifestyle. From a practical review perspective, the G3 has one major weakness: age. Older aircraft can have lower acquisition prices, but high operating costs. Fuel burn, noise rules, inspections, avionics upgrades, and engine maintenance all matter. Buying an older Gulfstream can be attractive on paper, but operating one properly is still very expensive. Practical verdict. The Gulfstream III is not a modern efficiency champion, but it has range, cabin size, and serious ramp presence. For Schwarzenegger, it was the right aircraft for a specific era. Big, powerful, expensive, and unmistakably Hollywood. Number 7. Jackie Chan. Aircraft. Embraer. Legacy. 500. Jackie Chan is not American, but he is one of the most famous actors in the world, and his aircraft choice deserves a place here because it is technically interesting. His Embraer Legacy 500 is one of the smarter mid-size jets on this list. It is not the biggest aircraft here, but it is modern, efficient, and well-balanced. The Legacy 500 is powered by two Honeywell HTF 7500E turbofan engines, with each engine producing about 7,036 pounds of thrust. That gives it strong performance in the mid-size category. The aircraft has a maximum cruise speed around 466 knots, or roughly 536 miles per hour. Its range is around 3,125 nautical miles, with typical passenger assumptions. That means it can handle many regional and medium-range international routes without needing the cost of a larger Gulfstream or Global Express. One of the biggest technical features is fly-by-wire control. That is important because many business jets in this class historically used more conventional flight control systems. Fly-by-wire means the pilot's inputs are electronically managed through flight computers, improving control precision and adding system protections. The cabin is also strong for its size. The Legacy 500 offers a flat-floor cabin, seating for around 8 to 12 passengers, and a comfortable layout for business or personal travel. It is smaller than a Gulfstream V, but it is newer and more efficient for shorter missions. For Jackie Chan, the aircraft makes sense because of mission type. A global actor and businessman often needs regional mobility. Hong Kong, Beijing, Shanghai, Singapore, Japan, Korea, and other Asian business or film markets. A large, ultra-long-range jet may be unnecessary for many of those routes. The Legacy 500 gives speed, comfort, and technology without the footprint of a much larger aircraft. The downside is that it does not have the massive cabin or extreme range of the largest jets. But that is not the mission. This is a practical aircraft for frequent medium-distance travel. Practical verdict. The Legacy 500 is one of the most technically modern jets on this list. It gives Jackie Chan speed, fly-by-wire technology, cabin comfort, and efficient regional range. Not the biggest, not the flashiest, but very well engineered. Number 6, Harrison Ford. Aircraft. Cessna Citation Sovereign. Harrison Ford is one of the most respected pilot actors in Hollywood. His aviation reputation is not built on luxury alone. He has flown multiple aircraft types, including fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters, and he is known as a serious aviation enthusiast. The aircraft connected with him in private jet tracking sources is the Cessna Citation Sovereign. The Citation Sovereign is a super mid-sized business jet. It is not as large as a Gulfstream V or Global Express, but it is more capable than a small light jet. This makes it one of the most practical aircraft on the list. The Sovereign is powered by two Pratt & Whitney Canada PW306C turbofan engines, with each engine producing about 5,770 pounds of thrust. It cruises at around 458 knots, or about 527 miles per hour, depending on altitude and conditions. Range is commonly listed around 2,800 to 3,200 nautical miles, depending on payload and reserves. One of the Sovereign's biggest strengths is runway performance. It was designed to combine good range with the ability to operate from smaller airports than many larger business jets. For a pilot owner, that matters. A private jet is more useful when it can access more airports closer to the final destination. The cabin usually seats around 8 to 12 passengers, depending on configuration. It offers a stand-up cabin, club seating, refreshment center, lavatory, and enough baggage space for serious trips. It is not ultra-luxury by Gulfstream standards, but it is very functional. For Harrison Ford, this aircraft makes sense because it feels like a practical pilot's tool. It is not about owning the largest aircraft. It is about owning a jet that can do real missions efficiently. Compared with a Gulfstream, the Sovereign has lower operating complexity and lower hourly cost. Compared with a light jet, it gives better range and cabin comfort. That balance is the point. Practical verdict. The Citation Sovereign is not the most glamorous aircraft here, but it may be one of the most logical. Good speed, good range, strong runway flexibility, manageable size. For Harrison Ford, it fits the profile of someone who understands aviation as a machine, not just a lifestyle accessory. Number 5, Tom Cruise. Aircraft. Gulfstream IV. Tom Cruise is one of the few actors whose public image is directly connected to aviation. From Top Gun to real flight training and stunt work, aviation is part of his brand. The private jet most often associated with him is the Gulfstream IV, also known as the G4. The Gulfstream IV is powered by two Rolls-Royce Tay 611-8 turbofan engines, each producing around 13,850 pounds of thrust. That gives it strong performance for a large cabin business jet of its generation. The G4 typically cruises around Mach 0.80, with maximum operating speed around Mach 0.88. Range is commonly listed around 4,200 nautical miles, depending on passenger load, reserves, and configuration. That makes it capable of transcontinental and many international routes. The cabin is a major reason the G4 became popular. It can usually seat around 12 to 16 passengers, with enough room for work areas, sleeping arrangements, a galley, and a private lavatory. For an actor like Cruise, this matters because the aircraft is not just transportation. It can function as a mobile office between film locations, production meetings, and international press events. From a practical review standpoint, the Gulfstream IV is proven, but older. That means aircraft condition matters. A well-maintained and upgraded G4 can still be extremely useful. But older avionics, cabin systems, engine maintenance, and operating costs can make ownership expensive. The aircraft fits Cruise because he works globally. His projects often involve international locations, long production schedules, and tight timing. A large cabin jet with long-range ability gives him control over travel logistics. It also matches his aviation identity. Cruise is not just someone who flies private because he can. He is one of the few actors whose audience actually associates him with aircraft, speed, and cockpit discipline. Practical verdict. The Gulfstream IV is a proven long-range workhorse. It is not the newest jet on the market, but it still delivers strong range, cabin space, and Hollywood-level utility. For Tom Cruise, it makes sense because it supports a global film career and fits his aviation-heavy image. Number 4, Mark Wahlberg. Aircraft. Bombardier Global Express. Mark Wahlberg's aircraft choice is one of the most practical for a celebrity who is also a businessman. His aircraft is a Bombardier Global Express, a true ultra-long-range business jet. This is not a small private jet for short hops. It is designed for global missions, large cabin comfort, and serious productivity in the air. The Global Express is powered by two Rolls-Royce BR710 A220 turbofan engines, each producing around 14,750 pounds of thrust. That is the same thrust class as some Gulfstream long-range jets, and it gives the aircraft strong high-altitude and long-distance performance. The range is commonly listed around 5,900 to 6,500 nautical miles, depending on configuration and payload. Cruise speed is usually around Mach 0.85, with high-speed cruise capability for faster missions. That means the aircraft can handle long international city pairs and coast-to-coast travel without difficulty. The cabin is a major selling point. A Global Express typically seats around 12 to 16 passengers, depending on layout. It has space for working, dining, sleeping, and holding meetings. For someone like Wahlberg, that matters because his career includes acting, producing, investments, restaurants, fitness ventures, and brand partnerships. This aircraft is not just about moving one person. It is about moving a business operation. Onboard connectivity, updated avionics, cabin Wi-Fi, and modern communication systems can turn travel time into working time. That is why the Global Express fits Wahlberg better than a smaller aircraft. His schedule is not only film-related. It includes business meetings, family logistics, production work, and cross-country travel. A smaller jet might save money, but it would not offer the same range or cabin utility. The downside is operating cost. A Global Express requires a professional crew, serious maintenance budget, large hangar space, and high fuel burn. This is not a casual ownership aircraft. Practical verdict. The Bombardier Global Express is a flying office with intercontinental range. For Mark Wahlberg, it makes sense because he is not just an actor. He is a business operator who needs range, cabin space, and productivity in the air. Number 3, John Travolta. Aircraft. Dassault Falcon 900B. John Travolta is not just associated with aviation. He is one of Hollywood's most serious pilot owners. For years, many people connected him mainly with his Boeing 707, but that aircraft is no longer the best example to use as his current private jet. A better and more current aircraft to discuss is the Dassault Falcon 900B, which Travolta has described as one of the aircraft he flies. The Falcon 900B is different from most business jets on this list because it uses 3 engines, not 2. It is powered by 3 Honeywell TFE 731 5BR turbofan engines, with each engine producing about 4,750 pounds of thrust. That gives the Falcon 900B a combined thrust of more than 14,000 pounds, but spread across 3 smaller engines instead of 2 larger ones. The tri-jet configuration was especially valuable in earlier eras of international and overwater operations, and it still gives the aircraft a distinctive identity. The Falcon 900B has a range commonly listed around 3,450 to 4,000 nautical miles, depending on payload and reserves. Cruise speed is around Mach 0.80 to Mach 0.84. It can usually carry around 12 to 14 passengers, depending on cabin configuration. One of the Falcon's biggest strengths is airport flexibility. Dassault Falcons are known for good handling, efficient wing design, and strong runway performance. For an owner-pilot like Travolta, that matters. It means the aircraft is not just comfortable for passengers, but also rewarding and capable from an operational standpoint. The cabin is large enough for serious travel, but the aircraft is not as large or expensive to operate as a converted airliner or the biggest ultra-long-range jets. That makes it a balanced choice. For Travolta, the Falcon 900B makes sense because he understands aircraft. He is not choosing based only on appearance. He values reliability, cockpit experience, and real mission capability. Practical verdict. The Falcon 900B is reliable, capable, and pilot-friendly. It is not the newest aircraft on the list, but it has strong range, a useful cabin, and a unique three-engine layout. For John Travolta, that combination is more meaningful than simple celebrity luxury. Number 2, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Aircraft, Gulfstream G650. Dwayne Johnson is one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and his aircraft matches that scale. The jet most recently associated with him is the Gulfstream G650, one of the most respected long-range business jets ever built. The G650 is powered by two Rolls-Royce BR 725 turbofan engines, each producing about 16,900 pounds of thrust. That is serious power. It helps the aircraft reach high altitude quickly and cruise at very high speeds. Speed is one of the G650's biggest strengths. It has a maximum operating speed of Mach 0.925, making it one of the fastest civilian business jets in regular service. Normal long-range cruise is lower, but even at efficient cruise speeds, it is still very fast. Range is another major advantage. The standard G650 is commonly listed around 7,000 nautical miles. The G650ER version goes farther, but even the standard aircraft has enough range for major international missions. Routes like Los Angeles to London, New York to Dubai, or Hawaii to the mainland are well within the kind of mission profile this aircraft was designed for, depending on winds and payload. The cabin usually seats around 13 to 19 passengers, depending on layout. It offers multiple cabin zones, large windows, lie-flat seating, work tables, a full galley, and sleeping arrangements. For a celebrity with business commitments, production schedules, and family travel, that cabin matters. For Dwayne Johnson, the G650 makes practical sense. His schedule includes films, business ventures, fitness brands, sports projects, and public appearances. He may need to move between Hawaii, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, and international locations with very little downtime. The downside is cost. A G650 is extremely expensive to buy and operate. It requires professional crew, premium maintenance, and high fuel budgets. Practical verdict. The Gulfstream G650 is the performance benchmark on this list. It gives Dwayne Johnson what he needs: speed, range, privacy, and global schedule control. Expensive, yes, but for a star operating at that level, the aircraft fits the mission. Number 1, Tyler Perry. Aircraft, Embraer Lineage 1000. Tyler Perry's aircraft is the most unusual on this list because it is not a traditional business jet in the same way as a Gulfstream or Citation. The aircraft associated with him is best described as the Embraer Lineage 1000, based on the Embraer E190 regional airliner platform. That matters because the Lineage 1000 is basically a private airliner. It is not chosen mainly for maximum speed. It is chosen for cabin volume. The aircraft is powered by two General Electric CF3410E engines, with each engine producing roughly 18,500 to 20,000 pounds of thrust, depending on rating. These are airline-style engines because the aircraft is based on a commercial regional jet. Range is commonly listed around 4,200 to 4,600 nautical miles, depending on the version and payload. Cruise speed is around Mach 0.78 to Mach 0.82, or roughly 470 knots. That makes it slower than a Gulfstream G650, but speed is not the main selling point here. Cabin size is the key. The Lineage 1000 has a cabin length of more than 80 feet, depending on configuration. That is far beyond a normal business jet cabin. It can be divided into multiple zones: lounge, dining area, private bedroom, office, crew rest area, and additional seating. In VIP configuration, it typically carries up to 19 passengers, but with much more space per passenger than a regular business jet. For Tyler Perry, this makes sense because he is not just an actor. He is a producer, director, studio owner, and entertainment entrepreneur. His travel needs may include family, assistants, business partners, production staff, and guests. A smaller jet might be faster, but it cannot match the Lineage 1000's cabin space. The trade-off is airport and operating cost. This is a large aircraft with airline DNA. It requires more ramp space, higher fuel burn, more maintenance planning, and a serious operating budget. Practical verdict: the Embraer Lineage 1000 is not the fastest jet here. It is not the longest range jet here, but it wins on space. For Tyler Perry, that is the point. This is a private aircraft for someone running a large entertainment operation, not just traveling as a passenger. So that is the practical breakdown of 10 private jets connected to famous actors. And once you look past the celebrity headlines, the choices start to make sense. Morgan Freeman's SJ-30 is small, rare, and pilot-focused. Jim Carrey's Gulfstream V is built for long-range privacy. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Gulfstream IV is classic Hollywood power. Jackie Chan's Legacy 500 is modern and efficient. Harrison Ford's Citation Sovereign is practical and pilot-friendly. Tom Cruise's Gulfstream IV is a proven long-range workhorse. Mark Wahlberg's Global Express is basically a flying business office. John Travolta's Falcon 900B is reliable and aviation-focused. Dwayne Johnson's Gulfstream G650 is all about speed and global range. And Tyler Perry's Embraer Lineage 1000 is the space king of the list. The main lesson is simple. The best private jet is not always the newest or the most expensive. It depends on the mission. Do you need maximum range? A huge cabin? Short runway flexibility? Lower operating cost? Or enough space to move an entire production team? That is the difference between a trophy aircraft and the right aircraft. Which celebrity jet would you choose? The speed of The Rock's Gulfstream G650? The huge cabin of Tyler Perry's Lineage 1000? Or the pilot-focused Falcon 900B flown by John Travolta? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy private jet comparisons, real aircraft specs, celebrity aviation, and practical aircraft reviews without the fluff, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is Unbox the World, where we break down the most interesting aircraft, machines, and luxury travel stories on the planet. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next flight.